Hello, everybody, again, and welcome to another episode of Stock Talk. I'm your host, Mike, and the co-host here is...
Kage, how's it going?
Good, how about you? We got a decent show. Today is actually listener day. We were going to do that show yesterday, but we had, let's just say a camera to be named later was taken there, so we had to postpone it till today. So today is listener stock picks. All the stock picks that we have here are from Stock Raider and Ray Gallegos there. So Ray Gallegos and Stock Raider, these are the ones that you wanted us to cover, and they do look interesting. If I see something, if a listener sees something he wants to share, it's usually good. And Ray shared this one, LICY Holding Incorporated. Last tick was 12.50. So some of you might be thinking, well, hey, it's $12.50. It might be out of my range. But wait, because if you look at this year-to-date graph here, go into the chart. I'm going to put it up on the screen there from MarketWatch. This is a pretty crazy chart there because obviously you have the cue card bounce, like we like to call it on the show, even though some people complain because they like to carry the cooler for people, but we don't because we're realists. We call it as we see it. You get the dip with the shorts. And then news pops up again with certain news that we could go back into July and search. And then you also have a September dip. And if you bought it in September, you made a piss load of money because this thing went up to $12.50. Did you see that the dump and then the pump?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can see these mountains, and they are quite violent, looks like.
Yeah, but the thing is that obviously with the jump, you want to wait for your buy point and things like that where you're getting in, because obviously right now you got pump up the jam, pump it up a little more. You got the shorters and the pumpers that are in right now. So that's the problem, right? What we have right now is with some, I'm sure some of the shorters are gonna, but it could still go up. So the thing is you got to watch out where your buy point is and how you get in so you don't lose your shorts too. We'll go into the news of it. I brought up the website, and well, the website looks decent just because, well, it's a $12 stock. It better look decent, right, Kage?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't really expect any trashy links or
No.
subpar
No.
layout.
Yeah, I won't see anything. I won't see anything where like it has been updated in like 5 years, things like that. When you're and the one thing about these types of stocks is that when you get in the Dollaruski range and you're not in the change ones and the pink sheet ones, you're not your risk is a little lowered, but it's not as risque as say a half a cent, quarter cent pump up the gem from pennyjump.com. I just made that up. It could be, but something like that where they send out a mailer list and things like that, which this is not one of them. So going into what would you say they do here, it says a unique, dependable approach to solving the global battery recycling problem. And don't we? Hey, Kage, have you seen, just with the industry that we're in, we try to have our customers, for us, drop off batteries so we can take them to the recycling center. Have you seen the morons that try to throw them out into the garbage can? If you're doing that, please, please, please don't do that. It kills the environment really bad, and you're breaking the law, just an FYI, you know. What say you?
You're throwing away gold. You're throwing away gold in the system.
Yeah, exactly. Don't put batteries in the garbage can. I mean, some people might be guilty of it and things like that, but just somebody will take the laptop battery, things like that, without having there's always a community dump day and things like that where they have you don't need to go throwing it out in the garbage can. And that's just my rant for the battery thing day. I just have to bring that out because I have that for us. I always have a free drop off for batteries so I can take them to the proper authorities there, to proper dispensary for those. But the proprietary spoke and hub technology use a combination of mechanical and safe size reduction and hypometeorological, tongue twister there, resource recovery specifically designed for lithium ion battery recycling. And don't we need that product as well, correct?
I say if you can recycle lithium, especially since it's a more rare mineral to mine and have all these batteries and everything that you can recycle,
Yeah.
I say go for it.
Yeah, and the thing is that's cash crop SA right now as far as that goes too. I mean, with the future, with this type of thing, it's gold, like you said. So they use the spoke. It's all types of lithium batteries are transformed and charged into a charged state to inert product for a safe and efficient manner. The fully sustainable with no solid or liquid waste. The hub cathode and anode materials are processed into battery grade and products to reuse lithium-ion battery production and other applications for a broader economy. It produces battery, lithium, nickel, cobalt, and more. And man, do we need these especially with the type of infrastructure as we like to talk about the bill there. You're going to need all this stuff if they're going to do the things that they say they're going to do. Now, whether or not that happens, well, you be the guest and you be the judge. I'm not going to throw out stuff without getting banned and things like that, but it is what it is. You got anything to add on that?
No, I don't have anything else to add on this stock. It's pretty self-explanatory.
Okay, so they also... Oh, go ahead.
Just watch your buy point and try to get on the cheap.
Okay.
If you can.
Yeah, exactly.
And kind of ride the wave, I guess.
Yeah. They also use a technology of sustainable future by solving the global end life cycles of lithium-ion battery problems. They create a secondary supply that both meet the demand of the critical battery materials that ensures sustainable future for the planet. They validate scalable their commercial plant provided imported validation for the spoke and hub technologies as well as confirmation of scalability to the commercial level. Safe and sustainable allows safe processing of lithium-ion batteries without any landfill waste and minimal GHGs, which people like to sneak that crap in, and it pisses me off. And that's why we have mountains and mountains of poison trash, is because goofballs do that. And that's why I have a rant on that, because I can't tell you how many people just throw freaking laptops away. I'm like, dude, you know how many parts we can use to recycle that kind of stuff and everything? And I only do the recycling part in there just because I want to help out the environment. I don't want this trash, and I don't want this toxic stuff in the trash. You know what I'm saying? It does leak out, and it does get into it will get into our water supply and things like that. And I'm not trying to be all Greenpeace on you guys or nothing like that, but I'm just stating the obvious. It is what it is, right there, Kage?
Yeah, I'd say just the more waste that we can actually reduce putting back into the environment and just more recycle that, better.
Yeah, and going into they're providing sustainable customer-centric solutions for each of their customers' batteries recycling needs, providing support guidance for necessary along the way to ensure battery recycling experience is handled in a manner that is safe, professional, and economically viable. One of the things they do is the all chemistry formats for lithium and biosustainable technology recover 95% of all constituent materials found in lithium-ion batteries. Can you believe that?
Wow. Also,
no production of landfill waste during the process as well. So it's basically a point A to point B stress-free. They're going to work closely with reliable network logistics partners to transport customers and transporting their batteries to the facilities. And that's a good thing if they do that, because you've heard of the projects for water bottles and things like that where they did recycling, and where they end up going. They had a big program in China, and guess what happened to some of the water bottles that you thought that were getting recycled? The plastics program over there didn't work out, and they ended up going in the garbage can. So some of the stuff we recycled in the 90s and in the early 2000s, it didn't end up getting recycled, according to some news reports, which, these days you got to read like 55,000 different articles to know what the truth is, because the credibility of news has gone down the whizzer. So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So anyways, going to the news, because we have to check what the alphabets are saying, because projecting, signal, noise, things like that. Let's go in and dive into it and see what we got. Okay, Kage, so this is huge news. This comes from Investor Observer, and this is why we got one of the huge jumps there. And I could see why Ray Gallegos is excited, because Atlas Motors, one company that we did cover before, As you remember, if you were tuned to some of the other shows when we talked about Atlas, their startup mobility technology company announced that they entered into an agreement with LICY Corporation for lithium battery recovery. What is the partnership? We're going to skim through it. We're not going to cover it. You can go and read it on Investor Observer, but it says the ability to recover critical battery materials, reintroduce them to the supply chain is ideal partner for Atlas. They're developing a fully electric vehicle platform with the ability to recharge a 500-mile range battery within less than 15 minutes. Now, this is huge right here, guys, because you already have the stuff that they use to make these things is rare earth material, which they can get out of it from recycling. So if they're partnering with them, that means that's just huge in itself altogether. So that's one of the reasons why this thing is popping. What do you got to say?
Yeah, I think lithium batteries are kind of the new thing in energy right now. That's going to be like for the foreseeable future.
Yeah. And if Atlas can get this material from them without having to deal with hostile regimes and things like that, and other regimes that use slave labor and things like that, it's a huge win-win for both. And I could see why we had the jump there. Now, I'm going to go back in the time machine. I'm probably going to go to page 3 or 4 because we already know why we had the jump. Let's see here. July news, why it popped was that they announced the partnership with Univar Solutions on-site services to provide comprehensive lithium-ion battery environmental service solutions. To recover the largest lithium battery recycler in North America today, announced a partnership with Univar Solutions on-site services. Basically, the partnership will leverage Univar Solutions' expertise in collecting, sorting, and diverting waste on sites such as facilities with LifeCycle, becoming a key partner for responsibility in managing the lithium-ion battery waste. So, in a nutshell, that's huge right there. Just because, and that was tweeted out as well. So that was in July. So that's why you saw the spike. So this will obviously be shorted because that's what these guys do sometimes when they do with the hype. So even if you possibly found your buy point somewhere on the low end or whatever, the next news, it could be, you could make some change there again, or you could just do the long hold because this is the future. And let me tell you, we're just going to keep on getting more and more batteries, especially when they're going towards. This is what the regime's doing. They're going towards electric until there's any type of different changes. This is what's going on, and this is what the future is. And so, as far as this goes, it's definitely a good look as far as a stock. What say you on the investor side? What are you seeing on the investor side there, Kage?
I'm looking at the investor side, and a lot of it is bullish. Chong123 says LICY again break $14 line.
I could see that.
Says, glad I found this little gem. Another battery play out of New York.
Yeah.
30% of faculty has been stood up already. Permits also required for air and water. And another trader says it's a long hold by LICY Trade ER. Says bullish.
How would you like to be the guy that got in on this in the September range? The guy.
I would be pretty happy. I would get everyone out to Applebee's or something.
Yeah, everybody that got in September is probably on vacation right now. They're booking their tickets after what just happened with that announcement from September until now. It's going to be a good Christmas, that's for sure. What else do you got on there as far as peeps on there?
Some pictures of a house getting some stocks through the roof and everything. And LICY is on the far left of it. So yeah.
So this was definitely a good pick by Ray Gallegos. Appreciate him bringing that up to us as far as that goes. So you guys just got a good tip, and that's what this show's all about. This show isn't about us being experts telling what to buy. The listeners and the hosts share the information with others to make others better traders and to help each other, get into a better investment. It's not about us tooting our horn or the listeners. If you make dough, put it in there. People have done it before and they've said it, but we're all in this together. It's not just a I know everything about the market kind of thing. It's everybody helps everybody. That's what this show is all about. So you got anything to add?
No, let's go on to the next one.
Okay, well, we're a piece out of this. We're going to the next. Okay, guys, the next stock we have is AQST. AQST. Last tick was $6.11. I know we're going high on these, but some of these are safer, guys, and we got to talk about them because listeners are just as important. We don't decide all the topics. We like the listeners to know what content they want, too. So this is one of the safer plays because it's you got a biopharmaceutical stock. You know how I feel about these ones. They're some of the safer plays there, Kage, when it comes to trading and things like that, because they swing. They're more as far as safer, as far as economically safer with the coming unfortunate disaster that we have that we'll see sometime, unfortunately, here. Looks like you had in January. This one didn't have the normal what we call the Q card bounce. It stayed between the range above $6. You could see the chart up here. It stayed it almost crested to $8, but it's been around the $6 range, and you could have got in and bought in, shorted it, and basically jumped on all the news they have. We're going to get into the news and everything once we cover what the company does a little bit. Okay, so going into what would you say they do here, Kage? They engage in identifying, developing, commercialization, differentiated products to address unmet medical needs to solve patients' therapeutic problems. The product pipeline includes Liberant, AQST 108. Don't go after me if I butcher it. I'm just trying my best here. AQST 305 and Zuplens. The company was founded January 2004 in Warren, New Jersey. What say you so far on what you've heard about the company or what you've read about it?
I think it's another pharmaceutical company. It's definitely one of those safer trades to invest in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you can get in and swing this one, go for it. I'm just reading a lot of these comments, and a lot of them say bullish. One of them even says...
is this from Stockwitz?
Yeah, this is on Stockwitz. AQST, even on a red day, the BISH has a higher high and higher low.
Yeah. And going into what would you say they do, they're advancing medicines and solving therapeutic problems and improving lives. They've had 12 years and 2+ billion doses and counting. The pipeline of medicine aims at overcoming barriers that patients face, existing treatment options, and providing treating critical and complex conditions. Well, what conditions? Let's go to the pipeline and find out. They're expanding the portfolio. You could see old Doc. I don't know if that's the real Doc or that's the scientist or the freaking, some actor or something like that, but it could be a live thing there. So their investigative medicines offer simple new ways for patients and caregivers to use a proven and trusted molecule. Their late-stage pipeline includes several investigational treatments for CNS conditions where patients face great difficulty in using medication because of the impact of their disease. And you know that just from a fact from a lot of people, elderly as they grow and older, they take certain types of medicines and they're treating themselves and they get sick because the medicine just makes you feel like shit, especially when you have especially people with cancer and things like that. I've seen people in very bad situations. Looking ahead, we give the potential for a big farm film technology to patients treating and that are working to deliver complex molecules, proteins, and peptides for an oral film and newer prodrug technologies. So they have the filled Liberant for breakthrough seizures and cluster seizures. So seizures is like huge. So that one's been filled. They also are in phase 1 for anaphylaxis severe allergies. So they have one for that, Kage. What do you think about that? That's huge in itself just for treating allergies, anything with allergies, right?
Oh, absolutely. Mm-hmm. People have allergies all over the place, and there's a lot of people things that are allergic to. There's some things you just can't get away from.
Yeah, they're also for AQST 108. So that was 108, and they're in phase 1 of 109. They're in preclinical proof concept for AQST 305 ostreotide for acromology carcinoid syndrome. Okay, Kage, so you have phase 1 and you have phase 1 for both the 108 and the 109. Now the 305 is in preclinical. So depending on where your buy point, if you're already in, or if you're planning on getting in sometime, the next news that this is the trick with biopharmaceuticals is when the next news breaks, that's when you make the cake. Okay, so that's the buy point, and that's what's good about swings is that they're kind of like, let's use for example, for this is from the school of Ricky Gutierrez trading. You have DGAS and UGAS. One of them doesn't exist anymore. But with DGAS and UGAS, they're natural gas companies. Obviously, you don't buy in the winter, you buy in the summer. So with the swing, when you buy in the summer, and then when you hold and then sell in the winter when it's at its highest peak, you make your dough. With biopharmaceuticals like this, news, noise, and signal make you money. You just need to find out where your buy point is. What say you on this one?
Yeah, I'd say find your buy point.
Mm-hmm.
This seems like a pretty safe stock to swing with. There's not really a lot of dips.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and with the winter coming up, it looks like it's gonna keep going up with people buying more pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
And chems.
So it looks like with one of their drugs they have. Okay, so here's one, and if I pronounce this wrong, it is what it is, dude. I'm an analysis. I'm not a freaking. Basically, going up with it, it's called clobazam or Sympazan. Okay, Sympazan. If I did it, it's an oral film with pharmafilm technology. The only product to offer clobazam in a convenient film. So what is it? It's a prescription medicine used along with other medicines to treat seizures associated with Lennox Gastaut syndrome in people in 2 years of age or older. It is not known if Clobazam is safe and effective in children less than 2 years old. It's a thin berry flavor, is taken with water or liquid, and adheres to the tongue and dissolves to deliver clobazam. So you can go on there and see how it works. It's designed for many people that may need the different formula to spit, drool, or having difficulty swallowing or challenging taking the medication. It's like it's in a convenient on-the-go film. So you have it, and actually some people, they're actually offering free samples. So what company offers free samples like that unless you go to the freaking doctor and they give it to you? They'll load you up, I know they do that for college students. They used to do that for us when we were poor college students, So, but yeah, they have several drugs, and so this company here would be one of your safer bets as far as economic proof. Now, am I saying get in today and go on the farm? No, I'm not. I'm not saying bet the farm on it. You got to find your buy point and find where you're in. But in the long term, riding the news waves and riding the graphs and things and the charts, this one would be a safer play and an economic play as far as from getting your clock cleaned when the crap hits the fan. Because I didn't go into it at the beginning of the show, but there was some bad economic news for Evergrande, which they defaulted on another payment, is what I read in one news article. And so what that's going to do is I'm sure that's going to send more shockwaves and shockwaves. And like I've said before, we don't know on the books, it's not been revealed yet with Evergrande, what American banks lend out to these companies that help build these ghost cities in China. When that hits, the shitteth will hit the faneth. What say you on that there, Kage, on that part?
As far as the stocks that are going to weather the storm and everything, with China being what it is,
And us, we're basically sitting on stuff, and everybody's like, hee, the market's good. I feel like I'm in freaking 1925 all over again, and everybody's just like, whatever, dude, we'll just keep on shorting, you know?
Yeah.
Like
some people saw the writing on the wall, and most didn't.
Yeah, I hate to quote Reverend Wright again, but America's chickens, they're coming home to roost, unfortunately. So going back to latest news on this, we're going to dive into it, check it out, and see what we got. We did have one article come out from Simply Wall Street, and this could be a setup for something else, because remember when we covered a stock, I believe, on Monday that was quoted a week ago as don't buy, and there's some of these articles that are like that. So you can't, just because they say don't buy stuff, they could be hooking their buddies, because it's all an insider shell game. If you haven't realized that it's an insider shell game, sometimes it is. Start looking at the shell games. So this article goes and says you can't hide losses, obviously, but when something goes down, and as long as it's not going bankrupt, you still have to read the tea leaves. But they're basically saying in this article the company's loss has recently broadened since its US $56 million loss in full financial compared to the latest trailing 12-month loss of $62 million, moving it further away to the break-even point. As a path of profitability, in a topic on Aquestive Therapeutics investors' mind, they've decided to gauge the market sentiment below, and they'll have the high-level summary in the industrial analysis expectations for the company. So you have that right there. And then a week ago, Yahoo Finance had the third quarter 2021 financial results, and it had the phase trial 1 demonstrates that the results comparable to the auto-injectors with the EpiPen for the emergency treatment of allergic reactions, including anaphylaxis. It improves a full year of revenue, earnings, and guidance, and hosts a conference call November 3rd. So that was 1 week ago news. So, like I said, you're in phase 1. You could have some of these losses. You're going to get some of this stuff all the time. But if you're in the short game, you probably wouldn't be sitting bad. But if you're in the long-term hold game, you're still not sitting bad either. Either way, it's a win-win. What say you there, Kage?
I'd say it's a win-win.
Yeah. You just got to find your buy point, know where you're getting in. The news on this is you're always getting popping news on this one. That's why I say these are good to swing. But always make sure you're locking in your profits. Don't take a loss and get all depressed. And you gotta make sure if you're getting into these, if you're new, you need to watch yourself and always watch your freaking EMA and SMA lines, because if you're not paying attention and you're going out with Susie Q and her, and you're not paying attention, and you're not paying attention to your during stock time, you're gonna get in trouble. So we don't want you to get in trouble there. So always make sure you're paying attention. You got anything else to say, or?
No, I don't have anything else to say about.
I should have said Johnny Q too. It's not just Susie Q. It's Johnny Come Lately, or whatever you want to call him these days. I don't know what's hip in and what's out, but what does Stockwitz say on this as far as guys and gals?
Some of this is trading for cash, says bullish. So the company announces top line data for their potential 109 product, which would potentially replace the old ancient EpiPen.
Mm-hmm.
They have a much better than expected earnings. They've already had 4 FDA-approved products with a great chance of Liberfen being approved this December 23rd. So it's still way undervalued at this current PPS. Much more to come.
I've seen ones like this, guys, that are sitting. This thing's at $12.50 right now. Okay, I've seen some that are like this that are at $20 and $50. Not saying this is coming in like that, but as they hit their gradual phases, I'm sitting on one right now. I'm gonna go long term. That's my game, but that's not gonna stop me from locking in profits. You can lock in profits and then get out and get back in. That's just, you have to do that sometimes, but I'm not telling you when to do that. That's what you got to decide, and you got to figure out yourself, or go watch some videos. If you want to learn something about that type of thing, go watch a couple classes on Ricky Gutierrez. It's free. or you could join his program he's got there. He's got a good program. The guy, and if you don't like him, well, then you're a Sour Patch or something. Like, sometimes I see negative comments about him, like, what do you not like about the guy? The guy pulls over, takes people out to coffee, and basically teaches them about the stock market and everything, and asks them about life and stuff. What kind of stranger guy does that? Takes people out for a cup of coffee in the car and rides them around and gives them a good time and buys stuff for them and is nice to them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How could you not like a guy like that wants to?
How could you hate on a guy like that?
Yeah, dude gives free advice out, and people are like, "Oh, you do this, you're not loyal to this." Dude's trying to trade, man. He'll teach you. He'll teach you. He teaches you for free, and he helps people out. What else more could you want? But you know, there's always trolls out there. They do the thing all the time. If they don't, if someone says something that they don't listen to it the right way, they get all pissed off and start on the hate train. Oh, and you always have your trolls all the time too. But you got anything else to add on this one?
No. Let's get on with the show and see the next one.
Okay, let's move on to the next, and then we're going to be peace out of here. Okay, guys, the next stock we have is ILUS. And before we get on to that one, Brandon, just a quick note. The last stock was brought to you by StockRaider. StockRaider actually picked that one out, and he brought that to attention. So thank you, StockRaider, for bringing that one out. That was an excellent, excellent stock. It was great to analyze that, and I think that one has a great future. Going into ILUS, Illustrato Pictures International Incorporated, 0.4630. This is another listener stock. I believe this one is Ray Gallegos. This is his pick. So you have January and March. It's basically a semi-decent thing going around, and then it just flatlines. And then all of a sudden you have news around September, and this thing goes to the roof to up to 0.460. So there's your Charteruski right here. Now this is at a decent buy point right here as well. It's an investment company that focuses on acquiring business in the technology and engineering of the manufacturing sector. That's huge there as well, because basically it's headquartered in New York. But if they're going to be doing any manufacturing, any type of acquiring or manufacturing here, we actually need that, depending on what they're doing there, because what do we manufacture? Houses here?
Apparently.
I'm just saying. I mean, I think we manufacture stuff. I'm not sure these days. Most of it is done far away. About them going into it, there is a mergers and acquisition company primarily focused on limited and acquiring growing technology in the manufacturing and business sector globally. So they're a global one. So there you have it. I knew it looks like since the inception of January 2021, they've acquired several businesses and in the process of developing these businesses while new acquisitions. Well, we're going to learn more. They've evolved a line of needs of technology and manufacturing sectors. They focus primarily on emergency services, huge, life safety, big, and related technologies such as emergency response vehicles. If they're doing anything with that, Kage, right there, that's a huge plus for me, because anything with emergency vehicles, you need that. That's not like you don't need that kind of thing, you know? Mm-hmm. It also has, now here's the key, electric utility vehicles, okay? So a lot of your companies are going to be switching over to them, because you just know going into some of these cities, they need money as far as for improving their vehicles, because some of these vehicles, they put out complete trash. I can tell that just from working for a commercial company of some of the garbage that they put out. You can only imagine with an emergency vehicle, and if they're not working properly, the liability on that is terrible. So for the fact that they're involved with that, that's huge right there. They're also doing specialist vehicle conversions, disruptive firefighting equipment. That's big, because you need that. And wearable technology and related software solutions. They have a proven record of acquiring carefully selected businesses that are appropriate for the vision of ILUS. Aims to complete further acquisitions of the process of innovative disruptive technology for achieve annual revenue of $1 to $10 million. Now, the deal is on this, and we're going to go into the news, is as they continue to acquire companies and it's significant, obviously the news is going to go up on this. If it's fluff, it's going to go down. And I'm not saying that the company's fluff. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that if it turns out to be fluff and all this is just hype, then this thing will go nowhere. That's just what I'm saying. So we're going to have to dive in a little more and see what else they have. What do you have to say so far before we go into the news and Stockwoods?
I mean, it looks pretty self-explanatory. I mean, there's a lot of people on Stockwoods who are saying bullish for this one and to the moon with this one, I guess.
Yeah, which you are gonna get that on all of them, because you do have your pumpers that are in the chat boards and your bots, and they are always gonna say that. There are some people that are homers to the stocks. I know, like I've said to you guys on the program before, I've seen some professional stock people get yelled at and stuff, saying, "Dude, I can't believe you sold off." Dude, they're locking in their profits. They got to do what they got to do. They're not. It's not that they're a bad person. Some of them are locking into their profits, and you have to do that, and you have to make sure you're profitable. If you're not profitable, then I'm all for holding the line. Don't get me wrong, but I'm also in for locking in profits, and I support locking in profits. So they're already completed multiple acquisitions, completing new acquisitions each quarter. Each acquisition rapidly increases global expansion and growth of the company. Their primary focus of the shareholder value is which they all say that. They all say they focus on shareholder value, but as I told you before, I was in a class action lawsuit with one that they're not always for the shareholder. Let's just put it that way. Correct, Mundo there, Kage?
Yeah.
So one of the deals they have that they're working with is the E-Raptor. It's the world's first electric six-wheel utility vehicle for multiple commercial applications. Now, they are talking about something in Washington, so this right here would be huge with the E-Raptor. If, like I said, if it comes to terms. My faith in government has completely hit the shits. So I don't put stock into everything as far as what they say and what they do. I believe you're on the same page with that there, Kage?
I don't really have anything else to say about this current administration.
No, neither do I. It's just I don't. My faith in it is the faith with the approval ratings, and we won't go too much into it. But as far as we're going to stick with the E-Raptor and with the company. So the E-Raptor has a high quality components, reliable, trustworthy construction. You could see the design of the E-Raptor. It looks pretty sick with it. It's designed to be rugged, hard, and a hard-working machine. It's fit for purpose industrial, agricultural sectors. Easy maintenance, environmentally friendly. It has silent operation. That's pretty interesting there, huh? Mm-hmm. Long battery life. Left-hand drive, futuristic engineering design. Highest payload in category, lowest operating cost. E-Raptor utility vehicles. Functional working utility vehicles can now be environmentally friendly and do not need to sacrifice power or reliability. They introduced the E-Raptor, the world's fastest six-wheel utility vehicle, thinking of the future and the environment, the legacy that they leave for the future and for generations to come, and does the job. The E-Raptor is a smooth, easy way to drive, excellent power, torque, 80-kilometer range for a single charge. That's interesting, huh, there, Kage?
Yeah. Most vehicles that are electric only get like 40 miles total for one charge before they have to go back to the gas for hybrid vehicles anyway.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is they're only getting better. So the thing is, we got to give them time and things like that. It's going to take time, but it's going to happen. It's just people have to have patience, things like that. But the E-Raptor, designed and engineered environmentally friendly, reliable workhorse. It's specifically designed to carry heavy workloads required industrial and agricultural users, whilst the versatile on-the-road conditions. Do you want to, while I'm going through a little bit more, do you want to go through and look at ownership, maybe do a little Google search on the copy on MarketWatch maybe, and we'll just see ownership, because that could be interesting too there, and ties to whoever, because we need to throw that out there too as analysts there. They also have, while you're doing that, they have FB Technologies. It's a global company focused on developing and manufacturing specialist technology equipment, primarily for the emergency services sector. So I'll go into that one right there. That's the other product there. Going into that there, Kage, the Firebug is a specialized technology company developing for patented firefighting systems on emergency vehicles. That would be huge right there, because they need that in some of these places where they have fires where they constantly burn and burn and burn. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Especially California.
Yeah, they need some assistance, because I'm sick of breathing in the smoke, and we're sick of the dirty air. So just an FYI, we're choking over here out west. Not anymore, thankfully, for the rain, because I'm not going to say the drought's over, because but we are getting a significant amount of rain. Designs and converts vehicles for specialist applications such as emergency services, mobile hospitals, medical ambulance, military, oil, and gas. Combined with the E-Raptor, so they have that. And then they have the Firebug. It's a firefighting equipment centered around disrupting the patented must-wear mist technology. Drivers increase firefighter safety combined with reduced water consumption. So you also have that. Going into the news, I'm going to bring up that there. Everything that we have on the news is about 3 weeks old, which we'll go into a little bit. Did you find anything about ownership at all?
Nothing about ownership. No historical quotes or
nothing.
profiles.
What about, did you do a LinkedIn search on the owner or anything like that? I'll go into the news articles. I just want to see, based on ties to certain people, we need to start bringing that as far as just to see, because with infrastructure deals and money cash, you got to cover yourselves for other things as far as when you're talking about. I like to try to cover all angles and see where we're at and what relationships people have with certain parties and things, not political parties, with certain countries, things like that. You guys, so I skipped some of the alphabet news because you find more on Twitter and some of the other sites. I actually went to Nick Link's Twitter profile, and actually he's got some good stuff on there. The guy looks like he's got his shit together there. It says that he really enjoys spending some time with the development team of Swifty Global DRCP or DRCR last week, and they have mind-blowing capability. Looking forward to the upcoming news. So it looks like everything on this is completely positive from what I'm seeing from the alphabets. What do you got on your end from the investor side there, Kage? I almost called you Kameo.
The investors are very, very optimistic with this one. Rocker at 498 says bullish. I am long on both, a year at least, but that does not mean I am as patient as a retirement fund. I know this next week will be huge, question of how huge. It's my money and I need it now.
That's a good one. Any news articles that you see on there that someone posted that we didn't see in the alphabets? Any breaking or no?
Breaking? I don't see anything that's breaking, but there's just overwhelming optimism for this one.
Okay.
ILS, we break over a 50 cents and it will go easily over $1.
Yeah, it's going somewhere. It just you're gonna have to be patient, and you're gonna just don't load up the show, especially if you see promotions and things like that. You know, you gotta find your buy point, and if you do see promotions and you're getting in, you got to be smart about it if you know what you're doing, or research it before you do it. But I don't got anything to add on this one. Do you? It was a good pick though, and it's interesting.
Yeah, I'd say it's a good pick. I don't really have anything much else to add to this one.
Okay, well, what do you got to say before you're out?
Stay safe, watch your buy point, and keep alert.
Yep, and watch your wallet too, and get ready for Ski Low Friday, because you know what happens on Ski Low Friday. It's Dump Friday, and you can even speed on the highway. So yeah, just don't get a ticket and don't hurt anybody, but don't make it a dog show. And good night now.